So Dave texted us yesterday the simple text of, the house is clean. Great news.
The best possible news.
Best possible news. He got a colonoscopy and got an A+ review. Your colon looks great. So my first thought, which I shared with Chris Demm, was not even a benign polyp. As much red meat as that man has forced down his throat, I had a benign polyp. I got to go back in 7 years instead of 10. This guy doesn't have anything. As much junk as he's put through that colon.
Maybe all the smoke confuses the polyps.
And
they get disoriented and don't even grow.
Breaks up the steaks on their way down.
They just get confused. And
because that man loves a steak.
Yeah. He's had a steak and a bourbon branch a million times. Here I have tried very hard recently to try to be better, and this guy doesn't even have so much as nothing. I mean, the doctor's like, clean as a whistle. Great job. Mm-hmm. And he waited like 2 years late. He's not just 50, okay? He's not.
Nobody knows how old he is.
Nobody knows how old he is. But there was like a 50th birthday party sometime back for him. And so I said this, and Chris Demm said, let me get this straight. You're making colonoscopies a competition. And I said, yeah, I wanted a better, cleaner colon than Dave had, and I failed at it. He beat me in colonoscopy.
Yeah, the best possible news.
Well, and I think even he was putting off the colonoscopy because of the news he was worried he'd get.
Of course. He said he didn't want to know. And it was like, everybody was like, Dave, you've got to go. You know, the whole thing is early detection. Get in, get your... Everybody knows that. Dave's like, nah, man. I'm too afraid of what
Not for me.
I don't know what they'll find up there. Finally, he's convinced to do it. And I said to Chris Demm, you're going to have some polyps up there. I put it out there. I just said I'm predicting polyps out the wazoo, literally. And nothing. Pink and clean and smooth for miles. And I'm the one that has to go back in 7 years instead of 10. So, yes, I made it a competition. And Chris Demm said, you're an awful human being.
That reveals character.
100% right. Now, second thing I've done is there's a story coming up this hour 1, about a woman. She's young, and she's one of these influencers. And she was walking down the street, and she ran into a dog, and the dog was wearing a sweater, and it was the same sweater that she's wearing. Okay, so she's wearing a sweater, and the dog's wearing a sweater. All right? And she looks at it, she's like, and it really upset her. She's like, oh, my God. The dog is wearing the same sweater I am. So it reminded me of some audio we have from 18 years ago, 15 to 18 years ago. A woman, young, got very upset because some hail broke the windshield of her car. And she didn't know what to do. So she goes on to the internet and says, what am I supposed to do? And she's crying and everything. So when I was telling Biggie what audio to gather today, I wrote down, get this lady with the sweater. And then I highlighted it, and get the windshield girl also. Well, he won't.
The windshield girl.
Windshield girl. This is 15-year-old audio. He has no idea what I'm talking about. So it was a test. I was waiting for him to call me to say, what's windshield girl? And I highlighted it and put it in bold and everything.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So I was waiting for the call to come in. Nothing. Didn't hear from him. Now we're 2 minutes pre-show. And I say to Biggie, you understood what I was talking about with that windshield audio? And he said, what windshield audio?
I didn't know there was any.
And I said, you just failed.
I highlighted it in bold in the email to you.
Bolded it, highlighted it. Like, let me look back. And then he says, what do you mean by windshield on us? And you just failed the test. And Chris Demm said, you're
another character reveal.
You're an awful human being. Why would you test someone on something they obviously wouldn't remember? It's 15-year-old audio. He wasn't working here 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That's right.
I still missed it.
That's right. But you missed it because the test was you should have called in and said, what does this mean?
Audio.
What does it mean? I kept waiting for the call. I try to do that. I try to trip you up from time to time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Trying to trip you, and sometimes it works.
Is this the new no Diet Coke Kelly personality?
I wanted to update you on that.
I'm back.
I'm back on Diet
Yes.
Coke.
Yes.
I'm back on Diet Coke.
So this is just your
This is just
shitey character.
That's right. That's correct.
This is just you.
Listen,
welcome back.
I had some things happen yesterday. I was called into. I had an afternoon pickleball session, and I didn't play that well. I wasn't pleased with it.
Oh boy! Did you take it out on
Yeah.
family, coworkers.
Oh, but see, you were looking forward to that.
I really
You
was.
were hoping maybe that would happen.
I really was.
It was a beautiful day.
Gorgeous day. And I like to play if I can in the afternoon. Now, a lot of times nobody will play with me in the afternoon because, that's just...
because you're a latchkey kid.
Yeah. And
They've got responsibilities.
nobody will play in the afternoon because they work. People work. But, I guess a couple of people can have flexible schedules or whatever. So I get the text, hey, anybody want to play at 1:30? Yeah, I do. I want to play.
So in.
Right. Didn't go to my usual Tuesday night game because I was going to play in the afternoon, which makes it easier for me because I can go to bed at my regular time and all that. And so we played. I didn't play particularly well. I was upset. I was playing with, the guy I keep trying to impress, Chris Kepko.
Oh, yeah.
He was out there, and I kept saying, Chris, I'm so sorry, I'm better than this. He just looked at me like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, there's nothing worse than that, too. We were already playing bad, and then you're that guy.
I know.
I'm sorry, I'm not normally like this.
I'm so much better than this. And then,
You've seen me before, right?
I knew what he was thinking. I think he's probably thinking, you really belong on Tuesday night crew.
Yeah.
That's really
You're
what
not day worthy.
No,
I should have saved that text for someone else.
exactly. And then it ended.
I'll just slide you to the bottom of the Tuesday text.
That's right. And I had told my wife, we've played at 1:30, and I told her I'll be home around 4:30. Well, we get done.
3 hours of pickleball?
Yeah, we play about 3 hours. We usually play 2.5 3 hours. So we get done about 4:15, and a couple of the guys say, we're headed down here to Fisher's for some wings and some beers. You want to come? And I was like, oh my God. I want to go.
Tempting.
I want to go so bad. But I looked at the clock, and it said like 4:17.
Just your wife's face looking back at you in your phone.
Yeah. So I had to say,
Is that your phone background?
yeah.
Angry wife face.
So I said, I'd better not.
I can't.
It's just going to be like an hour and a half. We're going to have some beers and some wings. And I was like,
You just talk some mess.
I wanted to so bad. But I said, no. I'm going to go back to the wife and the kids. And I get home.
We're going to go make catty comments about the judge they're grilling for the Supreme Court. You want to go?
Yeah.
Gosh, that sounds fun.
God, you sure?
God, I'd love to.
We're going to go.
I want to make snide comments about a record on crime. Not that I know it, but
I really wanted to do that. I really wanted to grill this lady who's up for the Supreme Court. Couldn't do it. I was like, no, I've got to go. So I went on home, and when I got there, I was so hungry and so thirsty. And I said, I'm just going to have a Diet Coke. I'm just going to have one. Before I knew it, I'd pounded 3. Just back to back. Just back to back to back. Sitting there, watching TV in the afternoon. And
were you rude to your wife like it was her fault you couldn't go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's another character flaw.
Snapping at the dog.
Take it out
and
on
the
somebody
kids.
else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a huge character flaw.
You know me so well. Yeah, get home like it's her fault that I couldn't be down there just whooping it up with the guys after a long day of pickleball. Couldn't do it. So I didn't do it. I did the right thing, but
Now you're back on the juice.
I said to myself, I deserve this.
Yep.
I deserve some Diet Coke, which is what I had.
Well, I heard a mysterious crack this morning, and it was a familiar sounding crack. It was not the energy drink crack.
Not gonna hide it. They have a different crack sound, don't they?
They definitely do.
I know. The energy drink's more muffled, I guess.
It is.
The Diet Coke just shouts for the world to hear. Poison! I'm here.
Hello, it's me.
Caramel colored caffeine
Poison.
and scientific sugars.
That's what it should say. Poison. As I open up the can. Back on, guys. Benign polyp.
Yeah.
Polyp. That's exactly what it is. That's what's causing those polyps. I guarantee it.
Well, so now we've all gone around the room. I had a colonoscopy.
Yes.
I think my next one is probably going to be within the next 2 months.
Yes.
Because
Soon.
my physical is next month.
Yeah. They'll schedule for that.
Correct. And then all eyes turn to Biggie.
That's right.
Yeah, it'll probably be me in the next 5 years or so.
That's right. We'll wait for you to get your colonoscopy.
Yeah, because I'll have mine early.
Well, if
Mid-40s.
you don't have a benign polyp, I mean, come on. Come on. I put my record against you on that.
Well, I'm torn because Dave did eat terrible and put terrible things. But you know one thing Dave never did that Chris Kelly, you do this, I do this. We put a lot of fake chemicals in our bodies.
We do.
And that makes me worry. And Dave is one of those that we make fun of him, but he's I prefer a soda with a pure cane sugar.
yeah, but what about...
I know, but the rest, but he doesn't put anything.
but the bourbon.
That's not chemically.
It's just corn.
Yeah,
The coffee.
not chemically.
And that's all natural.
Yeah, he doesn't even add cream or anything.
He doesn't do any cream or anything?
No, so I mean, for him, I think it's.
What about smoking? Vaping? Anything? Nothing? I didn't
But you know my theory on that. Just don't quit.
You know, here's an update, too.
Yeah, don't take any medical advice from Biggie.
No. But we have an odd number of calls from anonymous doctors when I talk about this that go, he might not be terribly wrong.
Right, yeah. If you're smoking from age 12, keep on smoking.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Keep smoking. I just read today, this is a follow-up. This is a 10-year follow-up. 10 years ago, e-cigarettes became a thing. A comedian came in here. We have comedians in on Friday sometimes. Came in with some e-cigarettes.
I remember that day. Yeah.
He said, "Do you
They were
want
still, it was a brand new industry.
exactly what 10 years? You think that?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. He came in. He said, "I'm smoking these e-cigarettes to get off of cigarettes."
This is not what we now see as vaping. It's
Different thing.
It looked
Different.
like a cigarette.
Yes.
That's right.
With that blue tip.
And it was like a metal thing.
They're
right?
still around. I think they're called blue.
Okay. So he says, I'm doing these e-cigs to try to get off smoking. And I said, oh, I'd like to try one of those. He goes, oh, try. Oh, yeah, here, try one. So he
This is
gives
way pre-COVID.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You just take a stranger's cigarette and puff on
It
it.
doesn't matter. We've shared left and right. So I take it, and it burns my throat. I mean, I took one puff, and it was,
You were on the floor.
oh, God, it was like paralyzed my throat. I couldn't believe it.
They were so harsh.
Yes. And he said, I said, this is what's going to get you off smoking. He said, yes. I predicted, I said, okay, this is going to be that's it for smoking. Smoking will be done because of e-cigarettes. And then with vaping, I said the same thing. When vaping came around, I said, this is so great.
Remember when there was a vape store in every block?
Yeah. And I said,
Every city?
wonderful. Vape, take in water vapors. You're going to be fine. This is great.
It's healthy.
Not healthy. It's not tar and nicotine and all that. And I said, this will get people off of cigarettes. Well, now they've done a 10-year study at the University of Michigan. They've done literally a decade's worth of research, data on teens, young people smoking. And they said e-cigarettes and vaping has not cut smoking whatsoever.
Really?
Basically, it makes you want it more. If you vape, then you want to go to cigarettes, you know.
I wonder what the crossover is.
They said high, that you
Really?
you smoke and then you do e-cigarettes and you still smoke. It's like it has not affected it at all. My prediction was 100% wrong. I said this will end smoking. But smoking numbers have gone down.
They have gone down significantly, but I guess they're saying that would still be going down whether or not it was vaping
I
or
guess it did.
e-cigs.
People who vape and do e-cigs also smoke, they're saying.
I remember when the e-cigs and all that started, though, the tobacco companies started switching to making e-cigs because they were worried about it.
Yeah, they thought cigarettes were going to go away. Has not happened, at least according to this University of Michigan study, and it was comprehensive. And they said, no, people are still smoking, and even if they do an e-cigarette or vaping and that kind of thing. So,
Have you talked to your teens about it, Kelly?
not yet. No,
What's
I'm
the
not.
rush?
Exactly. I'm not talking to him. Of course, my son is buying vape products, you know. So,
He's around the purchase.
he's around
So he
vape
says.
products. Yeah, and people tell me, too, you can't even smell some of these vapes that they do.
Really?
Yes. And
Well, I know a lot of them used to have the really kind of bold flavors like that pineapple-y this or whatever.
They're saying now that, and I got a lot of, when I talked about my son's friends buying vape products last week, a lot of people emailed and said, you won't even know, check his room because you won't even know if he's vaping.
Yeah.
They've made it where you can't even smell it. And I tend to believe him, but,
Still keep an eye.
yeah, we're keeping an eye out for that. White Bread's on the phone talking about smoking now, e-cigarettes as well. White Bread, go ahead.
Hey guys, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, so I used to work for Lorillard, who actually, I'm not sure if they still do, but at the time that I worked there, we actually owned those blue e-cigarettes that y'all were just talking about. And the thing with vapor is it becomes about convenience. Where if you're a regular smoker, you'll smoke where you can, and then you'll carry around the vape so that you can smoke indoors or without other people noticing and things like that. So it just keeps the nicotine high flowing.
Makes sense.
Okay.
That makes
so there's a crossover.
Exactly. So you keep it going for convenience, and then you smoke when you can
in your car,
and you're still smoking.
Your backyard.
Makes perfect sense, doesn't that? That's exactly right. Thank you, White Bread. Really appreciate that. That's good information, and that basically just backs up exactly what this University of Michigan study is saying. So the vaping. My prediction was this will end smoking. 100% not true. That didn't work out at all. Another update, a flashback on something we talked about yesterday. I've now seen that photo that Tom Hanks took with that bride and all those bridesmaids. He ruined that woman's wedding in Pittsburgh like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, yeah. What is it? 20, it's 18, 19, 20 unhappy faces.
Oh, you should see those faces. If you missed it yesterday, a woman was in Pittsburgh. She was on the street taking pictures just before her wedding with all her bridesmaids. And look who comes bebopping along, Tom Hanks. He's doing something, I think it was with a stage show on, he played Mr. Rogers in that movie. So he's in Pittsburgh where Mr. Rogers is from, doing something with something going on with that. So he just happened to be on his walk and saw the brides, and he comes up and says, "Hi, I'm Tom Hanks. Would you mind if I photobomb your photo?" Well, of course, she has to say yes because she's being polite, but it's incredibly awkward. And later, of course, I read through the lines. She said, "Oh, it's great that Tom Hanks is there." And I thought to myself, yeah, right. Yeah. This guy really thinks a lot of himself, doesn't
She'll
he?
tell her photographer later, delete all the Tom Hanks pictures. I don't want them in the album.
You should have seen the bridesmaids. They faked a smile. Of course.
Oh,
they
yeah.
all
Oh,
did.
of course, yeah.
Of course, they all did. Tom Hanks comes along. Man, this self-important. Good Lord. Can you imagine anybody more up on themselves than Tom Hanks? Good gracious. I'm the only one that sees through it. I'm the only one that sees what a terrible guy this guy is. He goes around photobombing brides' pictures. Stephanie, you're talking about vaping. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and say that I quit smoking 2 years ago, but I switched to vaping. I use the Views, but I was smoking Newport cigarettes.
Good.
And I haven't smoked a cigarette since.
Well,
but
I think that was the whole idea. That's great.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
does the e-cigarette give you the same feeling that it gives you enough that you don't want the cigarettes anymore? Or the vaping?
yes, the one that I found does, because about 8 years ago I tried the e-cigarette to replace it for that purpose, and I just couldn't figure it out. Like, I was like, well, how much do I vape and all this stuff, because I wasn't feeling it. But this particular one that I use, I feel it.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Do you use a scented, flavored one?
Feeling.
Is it flavored?
I use menthol. It's made by R.J. Reynolds. It's Views, and I don't want to sound like an advertising because they're not giving me anything. But it's the Views menthol. I don't do all the flavors and the weird artificial things because that's just kind of gross to me personally. People love it, but
I think good for you. Hopefully it's. I think it's better than cigarettes. Don't you think?
yeah, it's the lesser of two evils. I think. I mean, definitely would be great to be nicotine free, but it's smoke free, so there's no like carbon monoxide and all that yucky stuff.
Are you hoping to be cigarette or smoke free in a certain amount of time?
Yeah, eventually, and the brand that I use does have lower concentration of the fluid, the cartridges, so you can kind of wean yourself off. But
good luck to you. I hope you do. A flashback from many years ago. Thank you very much, Stephanie. I had said my advice to someone who was it you that was smoking or Dave that was smoking, and my idea was you be quit.
I remember you be quit.
Oh, yeah, you be quit.
I said that if you smoke, let's say a pack of cigarettes a day, okay, that's 20 cigarettes. Tomorrow, smoke 19. The day after, smoke 18. In 20 days, you be quit. And that was my program. That's what I called it, the You Be Quit program. And no one ever did it. And no one.
Never worked.
It's never worked one time. It was the wean off, I've had a lot of people who smoke say that the only way to do it is cold turkey. You have to just draw a line in the sand and be done with it. She's weaning, but a different way. She's going vaping. I said, you be quit by going down one every single
Any
day.
chance you could you be quit Diet Coke?
No, I have
think
not.
You've tried to you be quit
I've
Diet
tried.
Coke.
You are a Diet Coke man.
Yes, I have tried. I've tried many different ways. I've tried substituting. I've tried seltzer water. I've tried. I love that.
The girly energy drinks.
I love, I just love Diet Coke. And if they're around me and I have one, I'm just right back on them. So difficult. I find that to be a very difficult thing to do.
Either of your children drink soda? Your boy likes...
They do, but they can take it and leave it. They'll have one for a few days. They'll have a couple in a day and then not have any more.
And he likes like Sprite and more tropical drinks, right?
He likes, and he also likes like Dr. Pepper he's had. But he likes an energy drink too. My daughter likes stuff like High C, sweet tea. They have a sweet tooth in them, So they are of a little different. I am full Diet Coke, and the UB Quit method has not worked at all. Here's the point. When it comes to health on this program,
Look at us. That's all